My manager told the entire office I would never amount to anything. She didn't pull me aside. She didn't lower her voice. She said it loud enough for 3 colleagues to hear in the middle of an open-plan office on a Tuesday afternoon, like it was just a fact she was sharing. I had worked at that company for 3 years. Logistics. Nothing glamorous. I processed supplier orders, managed queries, kept things moving quietly in the background. I was good at it. Not loudly good. Not the kind of good that gets noticed in meetings, but the kind of good that means nothing falls apart. Her name was Diane. She had been my manager for 18 months, and she had made her opinion of me clear from the start. She talked over me in team meetings. She once took a process improvement I'd suggested in a one-to-one and presented it to the regional director as her own idea 3 weeks later. I watched her do it and said nothing because I didn't have proof and I didn't have power, and I knew exactly how that conversation would go. The comment about me never amounting to anything came after I asked, politely, in writing, whether I could be considered for a senior coordinator role that had just been advertised internally. She didn't reply to my email. She just said it, out loud, to the room. I went home that night and opened my laptop. What she didn't know, what nobody in that office knew, was that for the past 6 weeks, I had been quietly building something. Something that had nothing to do with her. Something she couldn't take. Something that, if it worked, would change everything. I just needed 3 more weeks to finish it. The company had announced an internal innovation competition 2 months earlier. Any employee could submit a proposal for a process improvement. The panel reviewed them anonymously. No names, no departments, just the idea and the evidence behind it. The winner would get a small cash prize and, more importantly, the chance to lead the implementation. I had been working on my submission for 6 weeks before Diane made her comment. After that Tuesday, I worked on it every evening for 3 more weeks. The proposal was a rerouting system for supplier deliveries. The existing process had vehicles returning empty from certain depot runs because collections and deliveries weren't being coordinated. I had spent months tracking the patterns, quietly, in my own time, using data I had legitimate access to through my role. My proposal showed how a simple scheduling adjustment could eliminate the empty return journeys on 4 regular routes. The projected saving was a 30% reduction in turnaround time. I had the numbers. I had the evidence. I had a 12-page document with a clear implementation plan and verified data behind every single claim. I submitted it directly to the panel, not through my line manager, directly. Then I waited 3 weeks. I told no one. I went into the office every day, processed my orders, said good morning to Diane like nothing was happening. Then one morning, my phone lit up. A calendar invitation from the regional director's PA. A meeting. Just me. No subject line. I accepted it, closed my laptop, and sat very still. Because if this meant what I thought it meant, Diane was about to find out exactly who she had been sitting 10 meters away from for 18 months. The regional director shook my hand before I had sat down. He told me my proposal had been selected. Not shortlisted, selected. He said the panel had reviewed 41 submissions, and mine was the only one that came with a complete implementation plan and verified data behind every claim. He asked if I would be willing to lead the pilot across 2 depots. I said yes. He asked how soon I could start. I said Monday. The company-wide email went out the following morning. My name, my project, my promotion to Junior Operations Lead. I found out later that Diane received the same email as everyone else. No advance warning, no courtesy call. The same email at the same time that went to the entire organization. I walked past her office that afternoon. Her door was open. She was at her desk. She looked up. Neither of us said anything. The pilot ran for 6 weeks. Turnaround time on the 4 routes dropped by 34%, better than I had projected. The regional director asked me to present the findings to the senior leadership team. I stood in a room with 12 people and walked them through every slide and answered every question, and felt, for the first time in 3 years, like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. The system rolled out nationally 4 months later. Diane requested a transfer to another site 6 weeks after the announcement. I was told it was her decision. I have no reason to doubt that. I still work for the same company. Different role, different floor, different view from my desk. She told a room full of people I would never amount to anything. I just needed the right moment to prove her wrong.